yes. Oh, ho, ho, yes. Your eyes do not deceive you. We got a nice little early stream here on a Friday morning. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited to get into this shit. I am quite excited to get into it. Actually, a lot of fun stuff at the Video Game Awards last night. Really cool stuff to get into. I think the sort of narrative coming out of it and what I'm excited to get into a little bit today is if Star Wars is back in some way. 2 Star Wars games announced yesterday. Pretty at least one of them is pretty good. I mean, it's got some stuff going on for it. And so the discussion is, of course, can Star Wars be back? Is this Star Wars returning to form, you know, or is this just more marketing, more shenanigans, more desperation? We're going to talk about it, and we're going to break down some of the stuff, not only that is obvious, but some of the stuff that's less obvious about what's going on with that game and the pod racing game and all of that. We will also discuss, of course, David Harbour, MCU star, introduced as, you might know him from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Are you guys paying attention to what's going on? Don't worry, because I'm going to shove it down your fucking throat, even if you're not. Because David Harbour came out as a very high-profile, big-time, you know, Marvel-associated guy and discussed his love of Warhammer 40,000 and, of course, revealed the new Total War Warhammer 40,000. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about why this is so cool, why people are freaking out about it, and why David Harbour is out here discussing Warhammer with such enthusiasm. It's because it's the future. So I'm excited to get into that. We'll have some discussions of that. Randomly, and I do mean randomly, Warner Brothers did something good and actually put out a little bit of a teaser trailer for Lanterns. That's the one I'm going to focus on. They did a sizzler reel for all of their coming HBO Max content in 2026. And Lanterns footage was seen. And frankly, it's the best 11 seconds I've seen of the DCU. And I'm not even kidding. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about why this might have happened, because I think the reception of Supergirl has been terrible. I'm talking about the trailer. And so this Lanterns thing, which is not just an 11-second sizzler, but apparently is potentially an actual full trailer dropping at 4 p.m. later today, might be, I don't know, something going on because the studios are like, yo, they don't like the fucking Supergirl shit. The piss was a terrible idea. You know what I mean? So we're going to get into that. We're going to discuss it. On top of that, we have more Doomsday trailer information, and there's some stuff that was put on Reddit about the Doomsday trailer, how it's attached to the different teaser trailers. I broke this down a little bit on Twitter, but we're going to dive deep on it because there's a couple of really interesting things going on with this. I want to explain why it's likely real, what some of the data and some of the bullshit in the tags actually means, and we're going to discuss why they labeled it Trailer 1. I'm excited to get into that. So it's going to be a good show, man. It's going to be a good stream. I thought the Game Awards were dope last night. Let's start with that. How do you guys feel about the Game Awards last night? Now, look, not all good. The Game Awards is kind of interesting, man. I think the Game Awards is, frankly, I think it's doing great. I think it's growing as an institution, as a show. I actually like Jeff Keighley. I like what he's doing with it. He's obviously making buku bucks on this thing. I think last night's was streamed via Amazon Prime, so they have an actual deal with Amazon Prime to have the Video Game Awards streamed as a big freaking event. And obviously they had a lot of Amazon deals and pushing Amazon on that thing probably as a part of that arrangement or whatever. But nonetheless, that is a pretty big profile. That is super high profile. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I'll make a pretty crazy call right out the gate. Today's going to be full of hot takes and crazy calls from your boy. First hot take of the day. Are you fucking ready? Get your fucking buttholes ready, because I'm burning that shit. Here's the first take. The Game Awards will have bigger viewership than the Oscars within the next 5 years. That's the first hot take. The Video Game Awards will have more viewership than the fucking Oscars within the next 5 years. That's the first hot take. Some of you are like, okay, yeah, maybe that's not even that much of a hot take, actually. I think a lot of people see that coming. Video games are huge. Video games are also cracking further into the mainstream and the zeitgeist. And you might be like, wait, I don't get it. If video games were bigger than movies for 10 years, how could it be the case that they're cracking more into the mainstream? Well, the truth is, there's sort of a difference between what makes coastal conversation in like elite circles, which it sounds so silly, but it's actually true. That's what happens, as compared to a lot of other content that's maybe more viewed and might even have a bigger fan base, but hasn't actually broken into some of these gatekeepers or sense makers in just the current world that we live in. And that's just kind of a thing. This has happened many times before, but video games are like undeniably just smashing that door over, because the reality is it's just a bunch of boomers that don't really get it, that don't get how big video games are, don't understand how much people love them. They're actually the only ones that are kind of like the barrier to this thing actually already being more prevalent in polite society than movies. That shit's gonna happen for sure. Okay. Now, with all of that said, I would love to. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the Video Game Awards, the show last night? I would say good overall, maybe one of the best ones they've done. However, there's still some issues. I mean, one of the things that's going on with the Video Game Awards is like, I can see Keeley's mind if he really is, and I think he is heavily involved in like the production. I think I can sort of see his mind, and he's trying to sort of balance creating a novel and incredible experience for the people that are going to sit there in a fucking chair for 4 hours in an auditorium and the millions of people that are watching around the world. And I think they've done well with this, but there's still some shit that's like not quite ironed out. There's, I think, a mismatch of tone where, the show is not organized in a way that's like, hey, here's all of your cozy games. Here's all your fucking dude bro games. Like, here's all, you know what I mean? Like, it's not actually organized like that. And so there's a lot of weird come downs and build ups in the show. I don't know if this is making sense, but I think the pacing and tone of the show needs to be balanced a little bit better. And maybe there could literally be sort of a softer section that's more for the cozy games and those kind of vibes and the anime shit. And then maybe, lock in on a tone of like, sort of aggressive dude bro gamer content. Because, I think that's the one sort of criticism I have is like, if you're like me, and you're just in there for, like not to say that I wouldn't check out an occasional anime game. Sometimes anime games are super badass. Or I wouldn't check out a cozy game. I like cozy games too. But it just is like, currently, it just feels very uneven. You know what I mean? So I wonder if they'll ever address that or sort of fix that. But, kind of other than that, I don't really have a lot of criticism. I mean, hats off to the team. Jeff is such a great ambassador for video games. He obviously loves the medium, and that comes across. And I think that he's done great. So that's kind of like my take on it. But I did think there were incredible announcements yesterday. Divinity. Let's talk about Divinity, because we're going to get into our actual topics, but we're early. People are like, what the fuck? You're streaming at 10 in the morning? We're a little early, so let's just gush about some of the fun games, and then we'll get into like why Star Wars is still cooked and these new games don't save it at all, and Warhammer's taking over. We're going to get there. Divinity Original Sin. Bianca! Holy, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Have any of you played Divinity Original Sin? The older Larian Studios games. Any of you guys in chat played those? Trailer was crazy, says John. Dude, it really was, wasn't it? It really was. That trailer went hard, bro. Okay, so some yeses, some nos. For those of you that hadn't played those games, did you play Baldur's Gate 3? Any of y'all play Baldur's Gate 3? I would imagine most of you that played Divinity probably played Baldur's Gate 3, right? So, yeah. So the thing that's kind of wild, right, is that trailer went hard. I don't think there's any way around it. That trailer went hard. They went for it. It was fucking crazy. Like that trailer was crazy. Sort of difficult to watch, but like really well done and really immersive and just damn, like makes you feel things, right? I think that's awesome. So the problem with that, or what would normally be a problem with that, is like, okay, it's a CGI trailer. Maybe you hired some animation studio. Maybe you've got some great writer that had a concept. And so this is great, but is this representative of the quality of the game? That happens often. And these days, a lot of people are like, hey, I need to see the actual gameplay footage. Like, show me in engine, show me the gameplay. And people, I think, are a little over the CGI trailer being the way to sell the game, right? The difference with Larian is, like, they're the fucking goats. So they're like the goats. So let me just kind of explain what's going on. So Baldur's Gate 3, such a massive hit, such a great game. I just think universally loved, just the craftsmanship, the care given. And yes, it took a long time to develop, but like Baldur's Gate 3 was something like a watershed moment in gaming. And I remember, and I bet a lot of you remember this as well, I remember when it was first coming out, there were all these articles from like other devs and other people in the space that were like, you know, I worry that this is going to set the new standard. This is unfair. This is going to make other devs look bad. Like there was a lot of weird energy coming out from devs about this when it happened. And I think the truth is, like, Larian just in a sea, this is the way I view it. Did I play BG3? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I have hundreds of hours in BG3. I love that game. I actually played it from early access all the way to release and then hours and hours in actual release as well. So, yeah, dude, I played the shit out of BG3, right? But going back to the point that I was making is, like, Larian is a studio that in a sea of studios and dev teams that are compromising, they are like a sort of pillar of not compromising on the things that are most important to them. So they talk the talk, they walk the walk, they take the time, and they like deliver on what they say matters most to them, and that's like pleasing the fans and making sure that it feels authentic to their systems and all that, right? And dude, like that is just something that should be rewarded, and I'm so happy for them that it is being rewarded. The thing that's cool about this game and this announcement of the Video Game Awards, which, by the way, some of you maybe saw the viral marketing that they did with the statue, and the statue they had, that everybody was like, yo, what is this or whatever. Oh my God. The thing that's so cool is they created one of the biggest games ever in Baldur's Gate 3. And that thing blew up, everybody knows, and Larian's bigger than ever. Now they're walking away from the Dungeons and Dragons world and returning to their own IP in a game that they'll have more control with, and they are promising that it will be their biggest game yet. Holy. Like, dude, that's just such a winning formula. Like, people are going to buy the shit out of this game. People are going to support the people in this game. These devs are going to make a ton of money, and they're probably going to make one of the best RPGs of all time that's somehow going to be even bigger than Baldur's Gate 3. That is crazy. So, look, I love this kind of shit because it's like Larian doing their thing and then just finding a way to outdo themselves, finding a way to, like, elevate, and they deserve all the credit in the world. So, I cannot gush. I mean, dude, I'm glazing. I'm fucking just glazing. But they deserve it. This, again, in a sea of people that compromise, in a sea of people that cut corners, in a sea of people that maybe aren't even really dedicated to ultimately giving the best gaming experience and have other agendas and things going on, it is important to reward people and companies that walk the walk, talk the talk, and deliver. So they fucking deserve it, right? Crazy. Josh Cryptic just said on X, Chris Gore was right about possibly having 3 different trailers. Yeah, I would imagine. Yes. Look, I will get into that a little bit later because there's a lot of evidence that I think it's happening, guys. I think it's happening. Yeah. I actually didn't play Expedition 33. Holy shit, it swept last night, though. I mean, not actually swept, but, like, dude, it did incredibly well. And good for that game, too. I've heard nothing but incredible things about that game and the system. So good for them. And look, it's making me want to check it out. I've got a lot of games and I'm not playing all of them as much as I should be, right? But yeah, Expedition 33. Good. 3 Doomsday trailers. Holy nuts. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. And again, I will show you the evidence for this. So there was some code, basically somebody that worked at a theater chain in Canada, came out and said, look, yo, we got the Doomsday trailer, and showed like some actual stuff. The issue is, like, dude, that's all like trade stuff. So I was able to figure out what all of that shit means. And one of the things that it means is they're labeling it as trailer number 1, which is really interesting. Why would you label it as trailer number 1? I mean, maybe it's just the first trailer, you know what I mean? But we'll see. So we'll talk about it. Don't sell Warhammer to the Yanks. They'll fuck it up like Cadbury's. Yeah, so I don't know that Warhammer is actually going to be bought completely or even in part by any American companies. They have obviously this huge arrangement with Amazon, and I think there could be more to that deal. Yeah. That's interesting. Are you a Brit? Are you a Brit? Disappointed Dispatch didn't win anything. Yeah, it kind of sucked. I mean, dude, I thought that thing was cool though with Jeffrey Wright and his son. Kind of awkward that they didn't like win, but it was cool. I liked that moment, and again, I think Jeffrey Wright is an example of somebody that's getting pulled into gaming, understanding how much more valuable it is, how much more prevalent it is. I mean, fucking Jar Jar Abrams is out there trying to repair his image with gaming last night. Did y'all see this? That game looks generic as fuck, by the way. But at least JJ, like I guess you could just say that the winds are changing, and that JJ is somebody that's figuring it out. I was fucking furious though. I'm really not a JJ Abrams fan. I'm really not. And so I was like, this motherfucker better shut the fuck up, dude. I was so mad when he came out there. I was like, yo. No, but hey, look, you know, at the end of the day, it just means he's recognizing the winds are shifting. Wouldn't be surprised if JJ's trying to get on some Warhammer, because it is, of course, the future as well. So, what else? What else happened with the gaming before we get into the Star Wars and the Warhammer stuff? Rivals introduced Deadpool and also Bloodstone. I think that's cool. I think that's good. You know, look, I know in this community there's some people that die-hard Rivals fans, love Rivals. And then there's some of you guys that are dogging on it or saying it fell off or whatever. I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Rivals is a bit fallen off, but brother, I mean, I lived through fucking Halo Infinite, dude. Rivals is making so much more content than Halo Infinite did. Rivals fans are eating good. That you cannot deny. Like, Rivals fans are eating good. And I think so long as they kept getting fed, they will be there. And if there's, you know, some more advancements and some other crazy stuff, I'm going to come back to the game as well. It's going to be one of those things where when I do come back to the game, there's going to be so much content there waiting for me. And so hopefully that prolongs the sort of novelty of coming back into the game and having fun with it. So I think Rivals is going to be fine. Rogue came out today. Yeah. What do you think about Rivals? Thoughts on the D&D game announced last night? Oh man, I'm not into that. I'll explain why in a second, but yeah, that was also Bloodstone. Yeah, playing some Darktide. Nice, John. Nice. Soon they will know the truth. Soon they will embrace the grim darkness. Okay, Frankie, I see you, bud. I see you. Keep, you know, good one. See some DBZ Sparking Zero 50% off. Okay, you know, I got really hyped up for Sparking Zero. You know, when it was like leading up to it and all the characters and everything like that, and then it kind of like just faded like a fart in the wind. You know, so I don't really know. Maybe if it's on sale, I'd check it out. But again, I have so many games to play. So is Total War a good game for Warhammer fans? I don't know if it's good or not. Oh, dude, trust me, I'm gonna gush about that shit. The Total War thing is incredible. It's a big freaking deal, and but you're gonna need context, right? You're gonna need context to understand it. Played Rivals when it came out, but not interested anymore. Yeah. I mean, Rivals. I don't know. I mean, I think Rivals definitely benefited from maybe like a lack of other good games at the time, and I do think a lot of the other big franchises disappointed a lot of fans and sort of drove people to Rivals. And then there was, you know, a sort of natural fall off just as interest died down and other games came out. But I think the game has been able to hold strong, man. Like, I think this game is doing better than even like some of these other battle royales in their first year, right? Because it's only the first year of the game. Isn't Star Wars getting a Total War game? There were rumors of that, Lucas, but it did not turn out to be correct. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Star Wars games. We're going to talk about the Warhammer games. Let me see. What else was there? We got like a little slice of the Wolverine game, but like really nothing. There's like a little tease of that. What else was there? Resident Evil 9. People are really into that. I'm not super into the Resident Evil stuff. Oh, you know what else? There was the Street Fighter trailer. Let's talk about that a little bit. What did you guys think of the Street Fighter trailer? Control Resonant looks fire. I don't remember which game that was. Lara Croft, yeah, people are liking that. Dude, the Tomb Raider game, yeah, people are excited. I think that Street Fighter movie looks dope, bro. I've seen some weird hate for it online. I thought the trailer looked cool, and I actually liked them all coming out on stage. Like, dude, and then the joke that Schultz did, I was like, that's pretty good. That was pretty good. Dude, that I'm telling you right now, I don't understand why people are so, like, I don't understand. Like, there's people out there trying to tell me that Crypto pissing on a newspaper and a mismatched tone Supergirl sad story is, like, exciting them, but you don't see how the fucking Street Fighter trailer looks fun as fuck. Like, what happened to people? How did that happen? Yeah, that shit looks fun. It looks horrible. What? What the fuck? What about it looks horrible? What are you talking about? I am curious how it's going to turn out. It looks fun, dude. What are we talking about here? Holy. Cody Rhodes and Roman should have been the main speakers because it's their job to entertain the live audience. Yeah. They're good on the mic for sure. I think they had a lot of the people that were good on the mic do their thing. Supergirl is a spinoff of Guardians. Yeah, it kind of feels that way. It's going to be so much fun. Hell yeah. Oh, really, Nico? That's wild. That is pretty wild. When they showed the LS 400, I went hype. Okay. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I think the Street Fighter shit looks so fun, dude. And Street Fighter was never like serious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some of the animated movies are a little bit more serious, but even those are like, they're just so fun. Like, I don't know how you can like sit there and take all that shit so seriously. Yeah. Ken was crushing the car. I know, from the fucking game. That's crazy, right? That's so fun. Yeah, I thought that was really cool, man. I thought that was really fun. What else happened before we get into the other big things? Anything else that was fun? I like the snippets of action they showed. Looked over the top, but not bad CGI. That's what I'm saying. Dog. When she said it's Morbin time, I literally came. Okay, all right. Get him the fuck out of here. Kojo is going to be good as Ryu. I think so too, yeah. Got a new Mega Man game? Oh, hell yeah. Josh, please talk about the pod racing, please. Brother, it's not pod racing and it doesn't look good. Don't worry. I'll shit all over Star Wars in just a couple of minutes. Because all they got is the ability to jingle the keys. And you and me are both such suckers that we'll get a little shine in our eye, a little twinkle in our eye, and we'll remember the good times. Anyway, Lego Batman look good. Dude, Lego Batman is kind of the GOAT. What about the new KOTOR game? Don't worry, I'll shit on that too. Yeah. Hands quicker than eyes. The Street Fighter actors look like they actually can kick ass. That's what you want from action stars. Hell yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, Alexander Volkanovski's in that game, or in that movie, in that game. That's crazy, dude. Check out Jeff Snyder's latest post. No, I saw you, Nico. It said something about Brad Pitt in the Batman Part 2. And that's like just way down on the totem pole for me. I mean, that's kind of cool, but that's low on the totem pole, brother. Like, yeah. Also, 50 Cent. Hell yeah, dude. 50 Cent's the man. And I also heard, dude, I haven't watched that Diddy documentary, but like people keep telling me about that shit and like how good it is. Yeah, so maybe we'll give that a watch. All right, anything else that happened at the Game Awards we want to go over, or should we get into the Star Wars games and have this conversation? Anything else? I'm excited for the James Bond game. The James Bond game looks cool, man. You know? And Lenny Kravitz is still really fucking cool. Maybe some things never change. You need to watch it this weekend. Should I watch it this weekend? Maybe I will. Cryptic tweeted that Chris Gore was right. Brother, I'm way ahead of all these motherfuckers. I'm gonna be honest with you, of course. But just hang on. Just fucking hang on. Okay? Just hang on. Tell me why they're shit. Okay, Falconer, I will. Holy. Give it a second. Give it a second. No way you're not hyped for those 2 Star Wars game trailers. I'm not hyped for those 2 Star Wars games trailers, and I'll explain why. First Gaming, thank you for the gifted membership. Hell yeah. You should watch School Spirits, Josh. You can finally watch good stuff. I don't know what that means. Cryptic just confirmed Chris Gore was right about 3 trailers. Are we really going to skip over the Star... I mean, this is kind of the... Are we going to skip over the Star Wars stuff, skip over the Warhammer stuff, and go right to the Doomsday trailer? Or can we wait and then fucking cover the 3 fucking trailers that are going to change the world in the sequential weeks? Can we just wait? Like, can we just chill? Holy shit. Okay, you want to be just up top, Doomsday trailer takeover? Jesus Christ. Okay. 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 All right. All right, here we go. Okay, so somewhat breaking news. Apparently, Cryptic HD is saying that there will be 3 trailers and that Chris Gore was right. We're going to look at what Cryptic said in just a moment, but let me explain to you why I think this is what tipped Cryptic off, but we'll see. So this is from a Reddit post that happened last night. Oh, geez, when I click on that, it gets all sorts of crazy, huh? So this is on a Reddit post right here. I'll just tell you what it is. This guy said, hey, guys, I'm a manager at a Cineplex at a major theater chain in Canada, and we just got a list of trailers that will be attached to Avatar Fire and Ash, and look what's on it. And so you have this right here, and it says Avengers Dooms, TLR 1 2D encoded this blah 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 blah, and people are like, oh, what the fuck is that? Well, I looked into it, I figured out what it all means. This is a tagline, and it's basically the exact same format that all of the trailer people use for this. There's a software I gotta figure out. I gotta find out what the software is called. I think it's this SMPT format and the deluxe software, but essentially they use the same thing to deliver and encrypt all of these big trailers. So what this literally means here is TLR-1 equals trailer 1. It has 2D and 3D versions. It is encrypted. It is in 4K with 5.1 audio. It uses the SMPTE format, mastered by Deluxe, and the dates are a delivery/version tag, not a release date. So basically this is legit, okay? And note that it says trailer 1. So there's 2 different things here that might indicate that there's more than one trailer. One being this whole idea of a version tag, that there are potentially version tags here indicating multiple versions of the trailer, and then not just the 2D and 3D versions, like actually different versions, and the usage of trailer 1. Okay, so that kind of makes you think that there will be maybe more than one trailer. And now let's look at what Cryptic HD just said over on his account and see if he's actually confirming this, because you guys are like, he confirmed it, and you guys say a lot of stuff sometimes, and sometimes it's not exactly the way that you guys are saying it here. But let's get this post pulled up. Chris Gore was right. Ah, shit, he actually admitted it. Okay, so this changes things. First we gotta boom. Okay, so you can kind of see how this is all coming out and playing together. So this is obviously goddamn ridiculous. I guess I would obviously like to know what you guys think about this, but you know, we've sort of done the song and dance of explaining why this is such a big deal. Superheroes films have never done this before. This movie's a year away, and they're about to drop 3 sequential trailers, which will be locked to the theatrical, probably not permanently, but locked to theatrical. And we're off to the fucking races, guys. So 3 trailers worth of content in the next 3 weeks. We're going to make prediction videos. We're going to break them down. We're going to do trailers. And when these 3 trailers are done, we will have the best look yet at what Avengers Doomsday is going to be like, and it will properly set the table for what next year will be like, which is Marvel doing the biggest, most expensive marketing campaign in the history of the genre. Now, some of this is going to sound like a broken record because I've been saying this shit, but it is nice to have it confirmed. So look the fuck out, straddle the fuck up. This shit is going to be crazy, and we absolutely will have, I think, maybe the craziest December ever for this channel and for covering Doomsday and all of that sort of stuff. Another thing that I'll say is, you know, we were early, not just in discussing this and talking about this sort of a thing, but we've been early in knowing that Doomsday is different, understanding how Marvel is approaching this thing and how it is going to call back to when things were good. And I think it really will win the fandom back. It is the exact movie they need at the exact right time. It is bold. It is ballsy. It is expensive. They are being literally groundbreaking in the marketing. And so if you've been a person, and there's some people that, you know, fair play to some of you, because some of you might still be skeptic of all of that. And I can't really blame you. Marvel has been not doing a great job of making you feel better about this shit, right? But what I can tell you is, like, yeah, the job's weird, but I do take the job seriously. And I have been talking to people, and I have been trying to figure this out. And I think that, you know, I don't think I've been that far off the mark as far as the sort of hype I've had, the excitement I've had for Avengers Doomsday. It's like a weird thing because, you know, I've had a rough couple of years, you know, covering Marvel. You know, I do this for a job, and I'm also not one of these people that can just like pretend to like things, sometimes to the detriment of, like, you know, my own growth on YouTube, frankly. So I've been pretty fucking critical of Marvel for years, and yet still holding out hope and trying to see the positive and try to see a way out of this. And we're here. And this is it. It's the best thing they've got. It will be fucking mind-blowing. So here we go. Here we go. And now let's open it up to questions, comments. What do you guys think? I know it's crazy. What do you guys think? And also, did you enjoy the early parts of December where we had a little bit of a relaxing time, because it's about to pop the fuck off? What do you think? Hey, Josh, I hear Warhammer is looking like the future. True? 100% true and confirmed, yes. And I'm right about that, too, just like I've been right about a lot of things. They are going to give us maybe a key aspect of 3 different parts of the story: X-Men trailer, Kang story, Sentry, Reed. That is a theory. A lot of people have that theory. I don't think so. Maybe. That could be cool, but I don't think so. I think it's more like first part of story, second part of story, third part of story. I think they're telling a story. Different trailers in different locations is dope. That's not exactly what it is, bud, but yes, that is dope. D&D, Rebel Moon, I don't know what you're talking about. What? I've never heard of her. What is that? I just saw the 3 trailer thing. It's actually real. Let's fucking go. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It is real. It is real. Gonna be a crazy couple of weeks, guys. Gonna be a crazy couple of weeks. Yeah, I don't even blame them if they don't do 3 trailers. If it happens, great. It'll be history. If it doesn't happen, fall back to Marvel to create annoyance from overhype for no reason. Yeah, I mean, this is multiple pretty reliable people saying it's real. As I stated, there's some evidence in the digital files that it is real. Just telling you. I mean, it's, I think, essentially confirmed. I think essentially confirmed. Yeah. It is wild, though, huh? Apparently we get a Green Lantern trailer. So the rumor right now is we'll get a Green Lantern. You got an 11-second little tease in a sizzler reel for HBO Max content into next year. And they are saying there's going to be something else at 4 p.m. today. Not exactly sure what it is, but yeah. Wouldn't it be wild if the content in the trailer isn't even in the movie, but exclusive content and hype? I mean, they've got a lot of footage. They've got a lot they could show. And I do think they're going to trim this movie down. They're adding a bunch of additional photography around February of next year. So they've got plenty. So they could do something like that, yeah. So it's basically nothing. You're talking about the Lanterns thing? Who should not show in the trailer for hype? I don't know, brother, and I wouldn't worry about it. This is going to be hype. Hey, Josh, who do you think the He-Man trailer will be released? I have no idea. I'm not really following that, so I couldn't really speak to it. Are you worried about James Gunn Guardian-style Batman? Yeah, I mean, I think at this point you'd have to be super daft to not be worried about that. I don't know. Do y'all think that you really think that DCU has a future? I don't. I almost like don't even want to get that upset about it because I think it's kind of circling the drain. I don't think people realize what's about to happen with these trailers. It's going to be groundbreaking. Yeah, no, they still don't realize. They're going to have to see it. But that's fine because after they see it, like, again, we're early. We are literally early. But the others will come along. Watched you for ages for Marvel. Watched Valrak for Warhammer. Now you're talking Warhammer and referencing him. You have me at full mast, Josh, for the Emperor. My man. Valrak's a friend, and we've talked a lot in the DMs. He's a good dude. He's got great sources. I've got great sources, and we talk about our sources sometimes. You know, he's an Imperial Fist player. You know, it's all right. We can't all be awesome in Dark Angels players. He does play Custodes though, so I'll give him that. Valrak's a good guy, man. He's super passionate about Warhammer, and he always brings good energy in his content, so it's good stuff. I'm not on the DC train, but all this Marvel chapter is about to shake the fucking ground. Yes, absolutely. Also, have you seen people getting mad? But I know I'm starting to itch for Marvel already. Isn't that what we wanted? Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, look, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, and 3 weeks from now, literally, the conversation will be completely different. And again, we are early. Story doesn't seem half bad, but yeah, they're doing a cliche dog thing again. Yeah, I mean, there's like nothing in the Supergirl trailer that I really liked other than maybe Millie's performance, the brief shot of, Momoa as Lobo. I think it's a terrible teaser trailer, dude. I think it's a terrible teaser trailer. And the thing is, I mean, I tried to look out there online. I think most people agree. I think a lot of people are like coping still. That trailer's bad, dude. I just don't think you like the DC characters in general. Okay. What do you want me to do? I got nothing to say to that. Do you think that they should release the Doomsday trailer online at the same time? I would prefer that. Yeah, I would prefer that. And it goes back to like a lot of things I've said about how I don't like the theater experience, gatekeeping that experience. One of the things that social media has done is allowed a sharing online that actually does create novel experiences. This is why people watch streamers, right? So like, dude, the trailer, imagine if we could all watch the Doomsday trailer together on a live, literally watch it together, cut it up about it. You guys could bring stuff up. I could bring stuff up. We could go over it frame by frame. That is a fucking awesome experience. We're going to model that as best we can. We're going to, you know, I'll probably have to go to the theater, watch the thing, walk out, come home, stream with you guys. But it's not the same thing. So yeah, I'd prefer the trailer to be online. They were better off showing a full trailer and showing more Lobo. You should actually lead with Jason Momoa. I agree with that. I actually agree with that. Yeah. Pull it out, Josh. Show us the DC Comics collection. I actually have a shit ton of DC stuff. Like, you'd be shocked at how much DC stuff I have. Trev, now, to be fair, Trev sent me a good bit of it. But, yeah, no, I love DC. But I'm also, like, I'm not here to, like, prove shit to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you like DC characters. I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck you. That's, sorry, but, like, that's kind of energy I'm on. It's like, I'm not here to be like, actually, let me defend. No, fuck you. I mean, even if I didn't like the DC characters, they should make a movie so commercially viable that I should be interested in it. Are you kidding me? They should have done the Doomsday trailer like they did for a Fantastic Four and had a whole event with the live countdown and everything. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. Look, regardless, there's other stuff I want to talk about. I'm really looking forward to shitting on Star Wars and talking about how great Warhammer is. So we're going to move on from the Doomsday thing. But yes, shit's real, and shit's about to get real, and shit's about to go down. I'm quite excited. It's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a crazy couple of weeks, guys. Let's fucking go. The next 3 weeks are going to be wild. Oh, shit. Marvel and Kevin Feige. Remember the fucking stream we did last week where me on Kevin Feige's lap, dude? That shit was real. That's what y'all don't realize. That actually happened. It's a metaphor. But that actually happened, though. All right, can we talk about these Star Wars things? I get up early to shit on Star Wars, brother. I get excited, man. Whew. Okay, here we go. So, Star Wars franchise, brand, IP, had a pretty good showing last night at the Game Awards. Let's be honest. Let's start off on a positive note here before we absolutely decimate them and shit all over them, because this ain't it and it's not fixing, saving nothing. However, they did actually have an impressive showing at the Video Game Awards. And you'd have to be honest and fair and say, as compared to whatever the fuck Star Wars Outlaws was, the two games that were showcased last night for Star Wars were much more impressive, seemed much more in line with, I think, what fans want from the franchise, okay? And there were two big games. So we'll get into them. I think the first one to talk about, and the one that is really exciting a lot of folks, is a new Old Republic game? Okay? And I'll pull up some info on this. It did have a trailer, and it did announce a couple of cool things, okay? So, we'll look at some of the shots here, and I'll explain some of the stuff that's going on. Pretty good trailer, you know what I mean? Just being honest, pretty good CGI trailer. Had some elements that seemed to connect visually to the older games. Of course, also has the lead of the first three games, or the first two games, and then of the Mass Effect trilogy. Okay, so this guy is like absolutely incredible, was like a BioWare OG. And so a lot of folks are very excited that this person is back, and I think that's great. Like, that's absolutely something to celebrate. And I will say very clearly here that this is a dub for Star Wars. It's maybe one of the coolest things that has gone on for Star Wars in a long, long time. And in all seriousness, I am going to get snarky. I am going to talk about how I don't think it fixes the brand. It's way too late and probably not even going to be as good as people think, and might get canceled. But even I would have to admit, this is a dub, and I think it's a dub for like one particular reason here. And I believe Casey Hudson is the guy, right? This is the guy here. So the one reason this is so good is because it is a recognition of the old. It is literally the Old Republic, but it's also literally Old Republic games, KOTOR, and it is the guy that was there back in the day, the OG, the old dude that was involved. And that's good. Like, you cannot deny that. And there's like a spiritual sort of thing implied there that, if it were true for Star Wars, would actually really help and be great for the brand overall. And that would be sort of going away from modernity and returning to what worked before. Okay? And if that's really what this was, I would say, man, maybe Star Wars is back. Maybe Star Wars is cooking. Maybe Star Wars can get back to where it once was. But I don't think that's what it is, for a couple of different reasons here. Okay? The main one is this. This game is not a sequel or a continuation of Knights of the Old Republic. It is not. It is a new canon game set in the Old Republic of the Disney canon, which we probably should have known right away with the female Jedi main character right in front and center in the trailer. But like, that's confirmed. Like, that's what it is. Okay? And so, look, as much as I want to believe that this could be good, and it probably will be a fine game. Like I don't know. Like it's hard for me to imagine this being a bad game. It's really hard for me to imagine this being worse than a lot of the other Star Wars games that have come out. So in a sense, like this is just like undeniably good. And for those that are still left in the Star Wars fandom, you have a really nice thing coming, and that's going to be great. But the question from there is like, does this save Star Wars, right? And what's like, dude, I don't even like. Do you want to talk about the pod racing game? I don't even think it looks good, dude. Like. This game should have come out 5 years ago. This fucking game should have come out 5 years ago. All these games should have come out 5 years ago. A pod racing game that's not even pod racing. Shitty ass version of Sebulba in CG as a tease at the end cap of the trailer. Get the fuck out of here. Like that ain't doing nothing for me. Even myself last night, I got a little captured in the moment. I had a twinkle return to my eye because yes, I love Star Wars, or at least what it used to be. And I have great experiences with Star Wars. I have great experiences with these exact games. But then you kind of like shake it off. You sleep on it and you wake up and you're like, bro, until I have enough evidence to suggest that there's actual change brand wide happening for Star Wars, how can I feel as though this won't just be more of the same with a couple of new keys to jingle? That's the legit concern. On top of that, I think this game is years away. Years away. And remember, we've had this happen before. Hate to fucking rain on your parade, but Star Wars Eclipse trailer happened. Where's that shit at? There's announcement of actual remakes for the KOTOR games. Where's that shit at? Like, think about it, dude. So to me, this is just basically all that Star Wars has left. This is all that Star Wars is. Star Wars has become a brand. And by the way, I think Disney did this on purpose. Star Wars has become a brand that's like still so recognizable because of what it once was, that moms, grandmas, uncles, grandpas are going to buy Star Wars socks and shirts and stocking stuffers for the rest of fucking time, even though I don't want any more of that, Mom. Please stop. They have reached that level of the brand. And again, I think one of the last things they have is the ability to jingle what once was, to give you a sense of nostalgia and just kind of like use that to like farm money out of you. So no, I don't think this saves Star Wars. And no, I don't think the racing game saves Star Wars. I don't even know if this game's going to happen. So Star Wars is fucked. Totally cooked brand. Unless this is representative of some big spiritual change, some overall change that's happening with the brand of Star Wars. And if that's the case, you need to say that shit with your chest. So, any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? What do you guys think? What do you think of this Star Wars game? And what is it going to take for you to jump ship and come on over to Warhammer, where it's nice, where they give a fuck? What's it going to take? What's it gonna take? It seems a bit of a jump to even assume that people would think that any single game is going to save Star Wars. Star Wars fans are so desperate for it to be saved that I think anytime something competent happens, they leap to the conclusion that we're back. That's what I think, frankly. Pod racing probably will be fun. Original game is great. It's coming from the Burnout devs. I don't think that game looks cool at all. Like at all. Avatar Advanced screening start on 12/16. Doomsday trailer on 12/16, says CC Black. Brother, Star Wars is so cooked. I'm getting super chats about Marvel during our Star Wars segment. And as far as the answer to your question, I don't know, maybe. The female thing with KOTOR is false, as the Batista one from Exile and the second are freaking awesome female characters. Yeah, they're probably awesome female characters. I'm over it. Like, what do you want me to say? I'm fucking over it because I'm not where I was 5 years ago. I'm not at the place of like, 30 shitty female characters in a row, but number 31, I'm actually going to go easy on and consider it to be possibly good. No, brother, that's not where we're at. That's not where we're at. Maybe do a Welcome to Derry show with a young Palpatine or something. Jesus Christ. Fuck that. Fuck that. Somehow Palpatine returned? Again? Jesus. Star Wars is so cooked, we can't even get imaginative about how they would even fucking satisfy us. My God. They will have to release gameplay for this or it's cooked. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm really interested in how this game does. I would love for this game to be great, you know, boundary breaking and incredible and like, holy shit. But it's literally a Disney canon Fate of the Jedi, Fate of the Old Republic, like Disney story. Like what? You'd have to just have blind faith at this point. You'd have to have blind faith to have faith in this. We'll see. I mean, I'm open to it. I just don't expect it in any way, shape, or form. And it's like, how many times is this going to happen? How many times? How many times are they going to be like, well, could be good, could be bad, could be fixed? Jingle, 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 jingle. Like, no, brother. I'm sorry. I don't think so. It's cooked. The best Star Wars era was, for me, was post-Episode 3, the golden age of Star Wars games. They should honestly stick that route for a while. In my opinion, and I actually think this could be the fate of this game as well, I think that will get a somewhat large group of Star Wars fans that just, like, persist. Like, just persist. Because, of course, like, those IPs we grew up with, like, form very strong bonds. And there's a whole bunch of people that really still have an affinity for Star Wars. Totally. I think Star Wars is just going to keep catering to that group and have zero growth into other places. And there's a lot of people that are just really over it and really burn out on it. And the best they can do is kind of, you know, drum up excitement within that really dying group of folks that still really care. I don't see a bright future for this thing, man. Like, this is crazy to me. So, yeah, I think it's terrible. What about Exodus, which technically is a new Mass Effect game, which would make me so happy? I mean, there's a chance there, but again, I don't know. I mean, a new Mass Effect, new world, I don't know. We'll see. Plus, I think these developers know what they're doing in this game. Yeah, the game could be incredible and not move the needle at all for Star Wars. Like, that's basically what I'm saying. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, what do you think? Like, do you see a bunch of people out there being like, because again, there is some Star Wars fans out there still that will check this out, and I would say way more than checked out Outlaws, right? But we're just gonna act like the last 5-6 years haven't happened. Okay. I think Star Wars has more spiritual depth and artistic form, but Warhammer feels tighter and more interactive with its fans. That vibe is going to make a huge franchise. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, look, we're about to talk about Warhammer because, like, Warhammer is taking over. It will crush Star Wars. And a lot of Star Wars fans will run ship and become Warhammer fans. A lot of them already have. And I'll talk more about that in a second, but I mean, Star Wars fucked up, and now they're kind of scrambling. Warhammer, although there's certainly things that the fans are not thrilled with as far as Games Workshop is concerned, for the most part, they haven't done the thing that Star Wars did, which was like, oh, here's our live action version of this, and then they fucked it up. They fucked it up. Did y'all watch the same shit I watched? They fucked it up. Warhammer hasn't fucked it up yet. Big difference. Warhammer's growing. It's literally more valuable now as a company than Star Wars or Lucasfilm was when it was purchased privately by Lucasfilm or by Disney. Like, what are we talking about here? You just look at the impressions. Look online. You're in a bubble, dude. You're in a bubble. It's a lot like the video game conversation. The irony is, right, most people know that are actually in it what video games are, how much more prevalent they are than movies, and how much more impactful they are into people's lives. And yet there's like coastal elites and people that write for the fucking Hollywood trades that haven't exactly figured that out yet. So there's not this like admitting of it. There's not this acceptance of it in polite society, and yet everybody fucking knows that the number. I mean, why do you think Demon Slayer? That's anime, of course, but like, why do you think Demon Slayer came out and made $800 million? Yeah, Warhammer's about to have their moment. Star Wars already fucked their moment up. That's the difference. And can Star Wars adjust? Yes, and it can course correct and it can get better. But think about what has happened. Think about what's going to happen. Yeah. All right, that's enough of all that. Star Wars is totally fucked, completely cooked. It's over. Now let's talk about Warhammer. Baby. Dawn of War. Did y'all see this Dawn of War trailer? Oh my God, what a glorious trailer for Dawn of War Warhammer 40,000! Or Total War, sorry. Adam, you fucked me up so bad on that, dude. I get them mixed up all the time now. Why you do this? Why you do this? Why you do this to me? Oh God, it's just so good. It's just so glorious. All right, so let's talk about the Total War Warhammer 40K announcement, why it was such a big deal that David Harbour was there announcing this shit, and just in general, why people are so excited about this. You're going to need some context. Okay? So, let's first watch this trailer together. I think that's Harbour's character.
In the grim darkness of the far future, every soul's survival hangs by a thread.
Oh, damn! Fuck a lightsaber, dog.
Mankind is beset by endless tides of aliens, traitors, and demons.
Fuck yeah. Shit, plasma to the face!
Across countless worlds, battles rage.
Oh, fuck yeah, Land Raider. The God Last Fusel Cannons. Power Hammer! Holy shit. Is that a mech boy? Goddamn.
Lead your armies. Conquer worlds. Fight on as the galaxy burns.
Ooh, Eldar.
For there is no peace amongst the stars.
Oh my God, the Great Rift.
War.
Okay, so obviously pretty fucking lit, but let's see if we can pull up the David Harbour John too. Because he had some shit to say last night.
Years. For 25 years, Creative Assembly has entertained millions of people all around the world with the Total War franchise. Today, I'm here to help announce where Total War is going next.
And as soon as I saw his shirt, because that's the Eye of the Inquisitor, but also the Custodes have that too. That symbol.
And it'll be in a universe that is so close to my heart. I'm excited to reveal that Total War is headed to the grim, dark future.
Let's fucking go.
With Total War Warhammer 40K.
Let's go. I'll explain why it's a big deal. Don't worry.
Some of you may know this, but some of you may not know this, but I am a huge fan of tabletop gaming. I've painted endless miniatures, spent a crazy amount of time dropping dice under a table.
Hell yeah.
Of course, as you might expect, I'll be in the game.
Fuck yeah.
It connects to some of my favorite aspects of the universe, but more details on that later. Let's take a first look at Total War.
So we saw the trailer. Now, you might ask, like, well, what's the deal? Like, why is this a big deal that Harbor's here? Well, I think it's just right now, Warhammer is in a sort of expansion growth process, and there are a lot of Warhammer fans that are kind of like coming out of the woodwork and being like, yo, like, I've kind of liked Warhammer. I've fucked with Warhammer a lot. Now, he doesn't say specifically that he did a lot of modeling in Warhammer. You would imagine he did. Maybe he played some other games. Maybe he played 30K or whatever, right? But the point is, that's a pretty high-profile dude. He was introduced by Keighley, and they said something like, you might know him from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is big, and that's a big in. Remember that Henry announced this whole thing as a Warhammer Cinematic Universe. And we know Henry's been in the MCU. He's obviously like a fan and appreciates what Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios have been able to do. I think he's looking to replicate a lot of that with the Warhammer Cinematic Universe. And the fact that you have a big profile actor like David Harbour coming out, being a lead and associated with a massive game, because make no mistake about it, this fucking game's going to be massive. And we're going to talk about why and the history there and why fans are so excited. But I can't help but feel as though this is another piece being built for the Warhammer Cinematic Universe puzzle overall. Titus is being pushed an incredible amount as a character right now due to the success of the Space Marine games, also the success of the animation that was done for Amazon on the secret level thing, right? And so there's obviously some cooking going on here with big actors, big characters, utilizing and leaning in to the video game medium and how that's able to sort of bring more people in to Warhammer overall. So why in general is this such a beloved game? Well, it really comes down to the studio, and it comes down to the actual Total War series. So these guys, they have created some Warhammer stuff before, but it was Warhammer Fantasy. Okay, it was Warhammer Fantasy, but this is Creative Assembly, and they've done an incredible amount of games in this Total War setting, and they're considered to be some of the very best that genre has ever turned out. And people absolutely love a lot of what happened in the original 3 games, which again were technically Warhammer, but they were like old world or fantasy. So swords, magic, not a lot of shooting, not a lot of tanks, like wizards and demons and stuff like that. So the fantasy side of Warhammer. And there had been a lot of questions because over time, Warhammer 40,000 just became so clearly the most popular version of Warhammer and the one that makes them the most money, the one that's being pushed the most by Games Workshop, et cetera, et cetera. And so to go back to Creative Assembly and have them do Warhammer again, but actually in the Grimdark, actually with Warhammer 40,000 is a massive deal. I saw a lot of people yesterday on Twitter that they're Total War fans, and they were hoping for maybe a Lord of the Rings Total War or a Star Wars Total War or whatever, because Total War is so good and so respected among gamers that any version of Total War, like any fan would just be thrilled to have them doing this game. Like if it were Lord of the Rings or if it were Star Wars fans or Lord of the Rings fans would have a lot to celebrate, because these are fantastic games that sell a lot of copies, get people really, really excited. I think it's just another great avenue for people to kind of enter in to the Warhammer hobby. And I think like That's one of the big differences with Star Wars. I mean, again, just think about the difference here, guys. Just think about the difference. Warhammer is building a cinematic universe. Henry Cavill is in charge of it. He is going to make sure it is true to the lore. Okay? And as that is happening, Black Library, their novel division and basically the bedrock of the canon, and how they develop games and push those out and even license out animations, this is all being done with a sort of synergy, and they're very smart about how this is entering into the mainstream, and they realize more eyes than ever are on the brand, and this is being built with intention. Star Wars is scrambling after fucking it up. And although, yes, it is exciting to get the homie back and have him be the lead on a new KOTOR game that's not a sequel, that's actually Disney canon, although that is cool, make no mistake about it. This is not the same thing. They are not building out this awesome plan and synergy and figuring out. They are fucking flailing, dude. They are flailing. And Warhammer's just cool as a cucumber, smooth as ever, figuring this shit out, building this properly. And look, I know there's some people that still can't see it, but more and more people are seeing it. And we haven't spoken basically a lick about the actual Cavill stuff. I heard some rumors that maybe there was going to be something here. Maybe this is it and they pulled some. I don't really know. Maybe it's not associated at all. But like that company is working incredibly closely with Cavill to the point that they have delayed novels within their library releasing because the show doesn't want to contradict anything that's coming in the big novels and they want to make sure it's all working together smoothly. These are just different philosophies. This is a different moment. The expectations of the audience are different. Warhammer is poised to take the fuck over. And this game is just one more element, one more piece of the puzzle, one more reason why. So anyway, that's what I think. That's what I think. What do you guys think about it? What do you think about it? Supergirl trailer is out. You should watch it. Jesus. Told us Rebel Moon was the new Star Wars. I don't even know what Rebel Moon is. Well, you guys keep bringing that up. I've never even heard of that. This is just an extra. What is this Rebel Moon thing? I'm gonna have to look it up. You guys are really into it. You guys are on the hate train for no reason. Someone in chat, tell me what is not dope about this shit. Oh, Warhammer? Oh, brother, there's two types of people in the world. People that understand Warhammer's the best, and people that haven't figured it out yet. So it's okay. They'll get there. Have you ever played Warhammer on stream? I want to see some gameplay to get me hype. Yeah, I've played Space Marine 2 on stream. I've actually played Tabletop Game on a Tabletop Simulator on stream. And someday I might play on an actual tabletop on stream as well. Let's see here. Lord of the Rings RTS games could be fun. Absolutely. Absolutely. Which Warhammer 40K is set in the future? Jesus Christ, we have a lot of teaching to do here. Josh, in the middle of Warhammer bubble, yelling at other people in their bubbles about bubbles. Maybe, but my bubble's going to win. And that's the main thing that matters. That's the main thing. That's one thing, though. You have the respect from the people involved. Yeah, absolutely. It's a big, big deal, man. It's a big, big deal. Let's see here. What else you guys got to say? The gameplay is weird. So let me tell you a little bit about the game. So it is RTS, top-down RTS game, okay? And, if you ever played StarCraft or Battle for Middle-earth or Halo Wars, those are some pretty popular versions of RTS. It is going to be like that. The big difference in Total War as compared to like Dawn of War or some of these other games is it's just so much more in-depth. And it's going to have like actual... So do you know where the word total, do you know what Total War comes from, by the way? Does anybody know where Total War comes from? I'll be very impressed if anyone actually knows where that phrase comes from. But there's a clue in where where it comes from as far as why this game is going to be different and more involved. Probably from history. Yeah, I guess that's a good guess. Yeah, that's fair. It comes from Napoleon, actually. Napoleon was, generally speaking, the creator of Total War. And what Total War was like basically before Napoleon, war was like highly ritualized. It was gentlemanly. It was organized. It was a lot of fugazi, a lot of bullshit. Napoleon changed war to make it way more brutal and to have the entire nation become a part of the war machine. We kind of copy this a little bit in like World War II, I think, where basically, Henry Ford starts making bombs and airplanes and shit like that. Maybe it was World War I. I don't remember exactly. But the point is that concept of total war comes from Napoleon, and it is echoed in this game series in that the depth of how you are using your resources to war is truly like a total package, much more in depth than a lot of other top-down RTSs. Now, one of the other things that's really cool about this game, how many of y'all played Helldivers? CC Black, I will totally get to that in a second, buddy. How many of y'all played Helldivers? Helldivers had one aspect of it that's going to be brought over into this game, okay? So Helldivers 2 had this really interesting sort of world map, and then there were like a sort of consistent and persistent story. There were missions everybody had to do together. There were big events that maybe you had to go help other people out in this area. So right now, and we don't know a ton about this, right? But in Total War, Warhammer 40K, the rumor is there's going to be this big persistent map, and you can play as one of the main 4 factions and actually help change who owns what territory, which would affect who gets what resources. Kind of similar to if you ever played For Honor. This concept was in one of the For Honor games, I forget which one, where you'd be battling, and then according to how much territory you took in a certain time period, probably like 30-day battle pass kind of a time period, you would gain resources according to how much territory you got, stuff like that, right? So that concept is being brought over to Total War Warhammer 40K. I think that's going to be super cool, man. Like, I think that's going to be super cool, and I'm excited. And I think that's going to be something that's going to help the game's future. It's going to help people like stay engaged as more and more content comes out. So, yeah, that concept is really cool. It's probably going to have a lot of like the standard various modes that you would expect in these game types. Yeah, like a skirmish, probably a story, although I bet the story's kind of dynamic. And then there's going to be this multiplayer element, probably like some death battle kind of stuff as well. Yeah. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? Look at the Revolutionary War. England thought they were savage, but they didn't stand in the field waiting to be shot. They used tactics that were considered ungentlemanly. Yes, of course. I mean, Americans and the guerrilla warfare we did certainly changed how Britain conducted themselves. But the truth is, like, Britain kind of sucked ass on land battles anyway. The British Empire was built off of their navy. You know what I mean? They get fucked up by Prussia and France and other people. So they never really had it like that on a open battlefield. The story for this game, I'm interested in Warhammer 40K Total War. Yeah, I'm not sure what the story is other than like in the grim darkness of the far future there's only war, and so maybe they're going to find a sort of segment of the galaxy where there's these 3 big forces are fighting over territory and whatnot. So that sounds about right to me. Can you play as other chapters than Ultramarines? Oh yeah, dude. So there's a moment in the trailer where it like flashes all of these different Space Marines. And it seems like there's going to be a lot of different Space Marine chapters that you can be a part of, including succession chapters. So there was one for like the Scythes of the Emperor. That chapter is very cool, very fun, a very fun successor chapter. So yeah, I mean, I'd probably, hopefully I can play as Dark Angels. I can play as Dark Angels in Dawn of War 4 either way. That's going to be sick. But by the time Total War comes out, probably have played hundreds of hours in Dawn of War 4. And I'll either like customize the army to be Dark Angels, or maybe I'll play a Dark Angel successor chapter. Like, I know about Rogue Trader and the Space Marine, but that's about it. And the Eldar characters from the Rogue Trader game. Yeah, the Eldar are pretty interesting. So they're like elves, very powerful. There's a dark version of them. There's like the Craft World Eldar that are like the good version of them or whatever. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because I like the Eldar. I don't know a ton about the Eldar. I know like the basics of their lore and their abilities and whatnot. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool, because it seems like it'll be Eldar Orcs, and Imperium. Is there maybe a fourth one that was teased as well? Or is it just maybe going to be those three? Because on the main cover, it's kind of like Eldar, Orcs, and Space Marines are like the main ones. So those are probably like the main ones. Maybe they then add in another faction or some sub-factions or something like that. So we'll see. Josh, I know you love Warhammer, but deadass genuinely, do you truly think it will find widespread mainstream appeal? I really don't think so. Yeah, of course I do. So I've talked about this like a lot, but let me ask you a couple of questions. Over the last couple of years, what Marvel movie made the most money and excited the fandom the most? I'll ask you a couple of questions to get to the points. Out of the last couple of years, what was the most popular Marvel movie that really excited the fan base and got people excited? Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay. Out of the last couple of years of Star Wars, what was the Star Wars project that got people the most excited, do you think, for Star Wars? And yeah, Obi-Wan? No, it's Andor, actually. And I don't even like Andor, but it is Andor, okay. What is the most popular DC project to come out in the last couple of years? Yeah, definitely not Superman. The Batman Part 1 literally made more money, had more motion. Yeah, it's the Batman. Guys, what do all of those things have in common? Joker, maybe. The first Joker, yeah. I mean, what do all of those things have in common? They depart from the regularly scheduled, plushy, soft, fun thing. The world is screaming at the top of their lungs that they want darker, more mature content. All the major IPs are shifting into that. All of them. Look at The Boys. Why is The Boys so successful? Why is Invincible so successful? Why is now Feige making TVMA Punisher shit? Guys, you are wrong. If you don't see what's happening, if you don't see the patterns, Warhammer literally has what everybody is after. And it has it in spades. It has it authentically. It doesn't have to take part of it and rebrand it to be awesome and be what people want. No, the whole fucking thing is what people want. The whole fucking thing. So yes, it will, like Game of Thrones. Oh shit, Game of Thrones is so violent. There's sex and there's blood and there's dicks and there's all this stuff. It was the biggest show ever. It was the biggest show ever. What are you talking about? This is like, yes, to answer your question, I do think it will reach mainstream levels of appeal. Yes. Mr. Rossi says, you were excited about the first few episodes of Acolyte, Morning Joshua, and Nerd Avengers. I don't know if I would say excited. I mean, that feels like a butthurt Star Wars fan trying to somehow take a shot at me or whatever because your fucking brand is dead. But what I honestly said was, I actually did think the first 3 episodes were better than a lot of other people. Mostly the first 2. Wasn't it just the first 2? Whatever they premiered with, I liked it more than other people did, and that's fair. But Rossi, you're just a butthurt Star Wars fan that is just trying to like take a shot at me, throw a tomato at me, because what did I do? Point out the fucking truth that your shit is cooked? Sorry. Throw another one up. I'll take the money. Boo! Wah! I think it was 2 episodes. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. So when is the show that was announced 3 years ago coming to fruition? Well, just like Unity, the Warhammer Cinematic Universe is coming soon. Total War 2016 is their best-selling version ever since Pharaoh was a pretty big drop-off. Makes sense that they would go back to their best seller. Yeah, absolutely, of course. I blocked this show from my memory because it was so bad and not interesting. Wait, what? What show? Hey, it was a joke. You didn't have to destroy my childhood IP. I didn't destroy it. I didn't destroy it. I'm merely pointing out that it has been destroyed. But thank you. Oh, shit. Here comes some tomatoes. Look, guys, I get it. You grew up with Star Wars. So did I. Okay? By the way, I didn't decide to fucking cook it. I didn't decide to kill it. I didn't decide to over-commercialize it. I didn't do that. I'm just not going to pretend that didn't happen. Because that happened. It's bad. Like, it's bad. Star Wars Eclipse is just as real and relevant as Warhammer. God damn it, Buffalo. Okay, we can stop with that. We can stop with that. I feel like that's a pretty good. I feel like that was pretty good. I feel like those 2 seconds were pretty good. You know what I mean? And judging by some of the butthurt, I think mission accomplished. All right. Can we talk about something that actually surprised me, that I actually think is pretty
40K.
crazy? Oh my God! Say it again. Say it again, David.
Let's take a first look at Total War Warhammer 40K.
Damn. Okay. Just beautiful. All right. Let's talk about stuff. Let's talk about DC. DC, so good. So exciting. Incredible. So this happened, and it's actually kind of surprising me. I actually think a lot of you people in chat are going to be surprised by this as well. So, Lanterns. We've known about this show for some time. Frankly, maybe one of my most anticipated DCU projects, truly. You know, because it feels so not James Gunn. I'm so sick of the James Gunn shit, man. It's all just Guardian wrapped in piss fart shit jokes. I want serious. You know, I want an edge. I want some masculinity. Fuck. So Lanterns just inherently was always a more anticipated project for me. But we haven't seen anything. You know, we haven't seen much. They haven't revealed anything, basically. And so this morning, they finally showed us a little bit of this shit. So let's take, wait, what? Wrong screen. Let's take a peek. Let's take a peek at this. This is 11 seconds.
I trained my entire life for this.
You're not ready to get up in front of the class until Boring says you are.
I trained my entire life for this.
You're not ready to get up in front of the class until Boring says you are.
This 11 seconds is better than the entire DCU. This is so much better than the entirety of what Gunn has created thus far. That's including promotion and production for some of you in chat that don't know the difference. This is crazy. Now look, it's only 11 seconds, right? It's only 11 seconds, but it looks like it has its own tone. There's these 2 military guys, you know, there's like fucking American flags, there's cowboy hats, there's some dude bro energy, you know, and this is one of the most Hal Jordan things I've seen, man.
I trained my entire life for this.
You're not ready to get up.
You're not ready to get up in front of the class until the ring says you are. That's him basically saying, like, bro, don't tell me how to sling the ring. And then he puts the ring on the dash, drives off a cliff, and ducks and rolls. That's Hal Jordan.
Boring says you are.
That's Hal Jordan. And what an interesting way to remove John from the DCU. People are going to cry and everything, but I guess we'll be like, yeah, well, I guess if he wanted to live, he would have been better with the ring, you know? I'm just kidding. Of course, he's going to make it. Probably some epic shot of him, like, fucking flying up with the ring after this would be really, really cool. But genuinely, I really like this. I really like this. This is a great first look. So much better. So much better than all the crap yesterday with Supergirl. Oh, my God. So this actually has me excited. Now, questions, right? Why would you release this on a Friday after you released a Supergirl trailer on Thursday, right? I don't know. I mean, use your imagination, right? It could be the case that internally, Warner Brothers or perhaps DC Studios is aware of the lack of motion and maybe even the lack of buzz and hype for the Supergirl trailer. So we've seen Marvel do this before where sometimes, like, you know, a trailer will come out maybe after the release of a show that's not very well received, and all of a sudden there's a trailer, so the conversation shifts to the next thing. So that could obviously be what's going on. I don't know. I mean, frankly, it kind of feels like this is HBO Max saying, like, yeah, we're different. And they don't really care as much as maybe Gunn does about some of these things. You know, Gunn has actually said in interviews that working with HBO Max was more difficult than he anticipated, and it's part of the reason why this show might have been delayed, because HBO Max is like, no, this is where we want the show. And Gunn might not be able to say anything about it, which is kind of interesting. So, I don't know, maybe it's one of those things where HBO is like, nah, man, like, we want to do the sizzler reel, we're going to put this out. However, another element here that does make this kind of interesting is Lanterns is not just putting out this 11-second trailer. Apparently at 4 p.m. Eastern time today, there will be even more revealed for the Lanterns show. Now that is interesting. That makes me think it could be that they're really trying to shift the conversation, frankly. Also, let's be real, this thing is for sale right now. So there's a for sale sign up there, and Gunn's literally having dogs piss on Superman and fucking Supergirl trailers, okay? So maybe Daddy Zaslav is like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? I am trying to sell this shit right now. For the love of God, James, can we just not? So, you know, I could see a scenario, I'm not saying this is what it is, but I could see a scenario in which they were like, hey, bro, what if we did something people liked and would potentially raise the price? And so that could be what's going on, and then they sort of snap to it and promote it in a serious way. So with all that being said, guys, look, I'm going to watch the thing at 4 today. I love the Lanterns, you know? You guys are such haters in chat. You know, I'm always here, like, willing to give these franchises another chance, just like I am with Star Wars, you know what I mean? I know it's been a rough couple of years. The Lanterns have been shit on for years and years and years, and I'm like, no, it's time. Like, it's about time. Like, let's get a good Lantern show out there. So I'm always willing to give these things another chance, and I'm supportive of all of these brands that I love, and Lanterns is one of those brands. I would really like this to be good. In fact, I'll take it a step further. I don't know what I'll do if it's not. This might be it for Lanterns. If this shit doesn't work, this might be it. And that's crazy, because the Lanterns are incredible, dude. Are you kidding me? So between Reynolds and this, if this goes a bad way, it's Jover for the Lanterns, which is crazy, because it's one of the best fucking parts of the DC lore. I love the Lanterns. The emotional spectrum, it's fucking awesome, dude. So hopefully this thing slaps. And hopefully at 4, they give us even more. Because look, there's literally no green in this trailer. No green energy, no green light, no green nothing, except the shine on the ring. And maybe that's fair to be like, yo, what? Where's the, like, green lantern? Where's the green? Where's the Lanterns? Where's the shit? And I think there's a built-in concern with this the show being terrestrial, not being epic galactic romp thing. Frankly, they should have taken Supergirl out of her own movie, put the Lanterns in there, and made it a Lanterns movie. Probably would have been more successful and more what fans want. So there's some concern here that this show won't go for it as much with the cosmic shit. The showrunner has said they will, though. He sort of promised that they will. So maybe at 4 today, we get a better look at what this show actually is. And I want to believe, man. I want to believe. And I want this thing to be good. So that's the yapping for the trailer and for Green Lanterns. What do you guys think, man? What do you think of this? Stream going until 5 p.m. No. Stream's almost over. I'll watch that, and maybe we'll do a stream tomorrow or something, right? I think Warner Brothers is releasing all these trailers for the sale, showing off the IP, DC, Game of Thrones stuff, etc. Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Yeah. Conspiracy hat on. Maybe Gunn, DC got wind of Marvel doing 3 trailers, so they want to do their trailers first. That's fair, actually. Maybe get it all out before the Doomsday thing happens. Yeah, most positive streamer on YouTube, bro. Thank you, Kendall. I feel the same way. Others don't see it that way, though, so I'm glad that I have your support. Supergirl shall be the final blow for the DCU. Maybe. I just don't trust Zaslav, given the sell to Netflix and Paramount worries me. Oh, you don't trust David Zaslav? You don't say. That's a wild take. What would possibly make you not trust David Zaslav? I'm having a little fun, man. Don't flatter yourself. A real trailer being shown at 4, not that Supergirl, the Galaxy shit. Damn! Damn, hostilities in the chat. That's crazy. I'm always so well reasoned and balanced and calm. Why would you guys get so upset? Really, I'm kind of underwhelmed, but I don't know what I expected from an 11-second teaser. What? Ain't no way, dog. Ain't no way you were really... what? Y'all underwhelmed by that 11 seconds? That's like the best 11 seconds in the fucking DCU. What are you talking about? What the fuck? Any other car but a Grand National. What do you have against that? CC Black says 1 billion for Zootopia 2. Don't be salty, Josh. Do I sound salty? No, I am salty, man. I am salty. Fucking Papa Iger got China to play ball again so that he can trick you all with these fugazi numbers for Zootopia 2. Congratulations. Yeah, I hate it. DC best bet to be the Dude Bro verse. CBS might. What? Gunn, this is one of the things I actually like about Gunn. He tends to get it a little bit more with the Dude Bro content, but yesterday he said some fucking outlandish shit about how Supergirl gets to be messy like male superheroes have been forever. Dude, you made some of the best and messiest female characters in the Guardians films. What's up with that? Like, that's so weird. Why did he say that? Like, it's just so weird. Paul Bettany just confirmed vision for Secret Wars. Okay, that's cool. CC Black, that's cool. That's cool. I'm a fan about that. Oh, I wasn't talking about you. Oh, what the fuck? How many more fails are we going to allow DC to have before we revoke their membership? I don't know that we make that call, actually. If Brad Pitt is in Batman 2, kiss the DCU goodbye. It's got Brad Pitt. It's got Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, they're cooking. They're cooking over there. Think he meant the stereotypical female superhero trope. Okay, well, he should have said that then. I mean, DC acting fast and the furious. Yeah, for sure. Denim Zootopia. Get that Zootopia out of my face. I can continue to gatekeep, and that's what tabletop players should have done for years. Yeah. That's you're not wrong. People don't want Dude Bro content. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, man. You got me on that one. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Gunn is building the DC universe in his mom's basement. Yeah, it kind of feels that way a little bit, you know? Kind of feels that way. The Santa Josh chuckles. Yes. You guys are funny, man. You guys are funny. LMAO, did you not see the hype around Street Fighter trailer? Yeah, they want Dude Pro. I know. These people, like, I don't know who these people are, man. I don't know what kind of fucking glasses, lenses, bullshit they got going on, man. Gunn is a Feige hater. You think so? You think so? They want Rey and Baby Yoda. Yeah. I would say 6 more Rey movies is going to do the trick, 100%. Josh is the same dumbass who said no girls allowed. I did say that. I'm proud of saying that. That was a hilarious stream and really funny content. So thank you for pointing that out. Gonna be so sick when he comes out of the ravine with the ring. It will be sick. That would be cool. I like both those dudes, man. A little bummed that Hal Jordan's 60 years old. But hey, if he's jumping out of cars and throwing them off cliffs and shit, like maybe 6-year-old Hal still got it. I sent you that super earlier about real rejects. Okay. What? What's the real reject? What are you talking about? Let's see here. 1 billion. Family show. This is a family show. I love Warhammer so much. I don't want it softened for the mainstream. So how are we going to solve that problem, Josh, without limp shows for the normies? The beauty of Warhammer is that it is so anchored in that energy that even a watered down version of it is still connected to it and is still like going to be more hardcore than like almost all the other shit that's out there in the mainstream. And I also think that a big difference in Warhammer as opposed to like The Boys is like The Boys does stuff that's kind of like edgelordy and just for the sake of shock and awe. Whereas a lot of the Warhammer stuff, like I'm not saying there's not edgelord stuff in Warhammer, there is, but it just has a reverence that is a little bit different. There's like, it's not just played for like, oh my fucking god, although there is a lot of that. It's like, no, Warhammer exists in a world where things are so fucking hardcore that basically everywhere you look around, you're gonna see something that if you really like understand what it is, it's like, oh shit. Now, look, having said that, there's stuff like the Candelabra bullshit or whatever that is that's like, yeah, we probably don't want to put that in the first episode of the first show. Even the little cherub babies, you know, maybe let's not talk about what the cherub babies actually are, you know, for the normies. There are ways, but Warhammer's not going... Look, some people say Warhammer's already going in a softer direction because they're not... I don't know. If you've ever seen the arguments that the Warhammer community has, they're so much cooler and better than all the arguments we have in the Marvel and Star Wars fandom. You know, like there's like actually hardcore debates about the morality of Warhammer, where some people will say something like there are no good guys in Warhammer. And then there are people that are so butthurt about that are like, yeah, fuck that literal hell from the rape god or fucking the Imperium. That's gonna, yeah, maybe squash some people, but it's not demons coming through and taking everybody's butt. You know what I mean? And they get so mad about that they call people tourists. They're like, you're a fucking tourist. If you say that there's no good guys in Warhammer, you're a fucking tourist. And the thing is, that's awesome. Like, those are awesome debates. That's a fucking fun community. That's a fun fandom. Even the arguments they have are cooler than the arguments we have in Star Wars. What are the arguments we have in Star Wars? That this totally cooked, fucking completely demolished brand is going to be able to bring back an old dev, make a new version of an old game and win? That's terrible. It's terrible conversation. You know? So, yeah. I don't even think that's the one I missed, though. Santa Super, YouTubers turned on Marvel, Real Rejects, and Koi after making their channels in the MCU. Watch they jump on after the trailer. Josh, you're a real one. I don't think Koi or the Real Rejects have turned on Marvel. If they have, I haven't seen that. I know that Koi... I don't know. I mean, he does stuff with DC, maybe critical of some of the moves Marvel is making, but like, who the fuck hasn't been critical of the moves Marvel is making? Like, Marvel had a crazy fall off, and I'm sure some of those people, you know, God bless them in their perspective or whatever, but I bet some of those people think I've turned on Marvel or whatever, right? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, brother. I don't know if I agree with all that. Wait, demons can take your butt? Dude, what do you think Slanesh is about, brother? What do you think Slanesh is doing? Okay. Why do you think Fulgrim's got all those tentacles? You guys want to see chain swords? You guys want to see dark elves smashing? You want to see orcs with machine guns? Come on. Exactly. Let them know. If you had to choose between Doomsday or Warhammer, what would you choose? Warhammer. It's not even close. But I think Doomsday is going to be awesome. I'm very excited about Doomsday. But if you're literally asking me, hey, what are you going to choose? Doomsday or the Warhammer Cinematic Universe or whatever? Like, it's going to be Warhammer. Like, have you not been paying attention? It's the best, guys. It's the best. It's the best. Slanesh is literally born because the elves gooned in the galactic scale. Yeah, they literally gooned on a galactic scale and created like a deviant god. Like, it's literally a degen gooner god in the Immaterium. So yeah. Would Doctor Doom survive in Warhammer universe? Yeah, he'd probably honestly walk almost anybody in that universe. Doom's very, very powerful. Maybe a couple of Primarchs teaming up against him. Maybe the Emperor himself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sounds perfect for Rossi. Yeah. There's something for everybody in Warhammer, you know? Let's see here. Damn, today we just kind of went over the mid stuff. Star Wars, Midhammer. What's next? D&D Rebel Moon. 57 months with you, dude. When are we raiding? Oh, you're on Arc Raiders now? I don't know. I'll probably play some Arc Raiders this weekend. Appreciate the support, of course. Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably be on Arc Raiders a little bit this weekend. We'll see. How you loving that game, bro? That game's fun, huh? I'm level 60, just so you know. So I've played a little. Koi hating on Doomsday before seeing it, but propping up Supergirl. DC shill really like him before Gunn bought him. I don't think Gunn bought him, man. Now, look, is he more inclined to get... It's an access media thing. Like, I think it's just worth being accurate here. look, I mean, frankly, it's like when I got flown out from Meta and Deadpool VR, which is awesome, and I've been playing more of it, and I think it's great, but they didn't pay me, but they did give me shit and it basically make me have such a good time that I'm incentivized to be positive about the thing, right? That's what's going on with Koi. You just got to know that. You just got to kind of filter that out. Like, yes, there's a level there, and I don't even think it's less necessarily not genuine, but you just got to understand, like, there is sort of an inclination for him to go a little bit softer, be a little bit more positive on the thing, of course, right? But that's not the same thing as, like, Gunn bought him, right? Yeah. So you're being brainwashed? What? How do you feel about the $5 million expedition cost in Arc? I don't know what that is. What's that? Is that the new John? Is that a new thing? Yeah. Josh, will you try out Rogue this weekend? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'd get back on Rivals. I'm a little more inclined to just do some more Arc, you know? Yeah. Yes. It's quite interesting. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for the Lantern segment. We'll see. More cool stuff at 4 p.m. today. Hopefully it's really, really cool. Hopefully it is. Yeah. Let's see. I got my Christmas bonus. Should I get a greenhouse or Warhammer? Well, look, a greenhouse is really cool. It's a great, activities, fun way to have food and supplies and, get in touch with the earth and all that shit. But, like, of course you should do Warhammer instead because Warhammer is so fucking badass. What do you want to be in your silly greenhouse? Feeling like you got a green thumb like you're Poison Ivy or some shit? Oh, good for you, Johnny Appleseed. Let's get real. Get a couple tanks, a couple gun lines. Get yourself a codex and feel like a man. Holy shit. Noah says, Josh, if you want F4 to remain your favorite movie of the year, I recommend not going to see Predator. It's actually amazing. Hype for 2026. Much love. Yo, when's that come out on streaming? If you leave on the expedition, you'll get like 5 skill points. Oh, if you have 500 million in cash. Yes. I mean, that's bananas. But for some people, the grinders, maybe that's great and they can do it. Oh, Bianca, what did chat do? Were you guys mean to Bianca? You guys mean to Bianca? You better not be. Go to the cinema, Josh. Predator is playing. Yeah, no, I'm good. When's it come out on streaming, though? They're just annoying today? Well, look, to be fair to them, Bianca, I was a little bit more fiery than usual today. So they were probably just a little bit more aggressive to me back. It's okay. Paul yesterday, it's really funny, man. I saw Paul tweeting about how he didn't like Supergirl, and everyone's like, yeah! You know what I mean? And I was like joking around with him, and then he literally hit me with like, I don't know how you do this every day. And look, the reality is the fandoms are terrible. Like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this shit sucks compared to what it used to be. We still have a great community, though, and I know there's mixed energies and mixed feelings and people like this and people like that or whatever. We still generally have a really good community, especially when you consider what other communities are like online. But yeah, I mean, fandom's been kind of destroyed. You know what I mean? Like, fandom's been kind of destroyed, and it's all fighting and politics, and people like Paul doesn't like a Supergirl trailer. And people are like, saying all sorts of stuff about him, like literally, and people say it to me, like that one stupid fucking idiot guy from LA that's like talking about my kids because I thought it'd be cool if RDJ shit on the Supergirl trailer or whatever. Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, look, in some ways, like Twitter kind of sucks, but in some ways it's actually good. Like people are that vile. People are that twisted up. Maybe it's better to know. You know what I mean?Maybe it's better to be like, all right, and then have an edge. I mean, that's how I approach it. And in some ways, yes, it's tough. It's tough. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know, maybe I thrive in the chaos a little bit. Maybe I'm a bit of a pot stir, a shit stir myself, because I'm willing to get in there and fucking trade blows, man. I don't give a fuck. So maybe that's why I can deal with it every day. Intervention. You're ready. You really do be spending too much time on Twitter. Dude, I actually don't. When I'm working on days that I work, I do. But like last weekend, I was like barely on at all. When I go, like when I'm hanging out with the family, like I'm barely on social media. Maybe some of y'all notice I'm like barely on the Discord on the weekends and stuff now. No, man, I'm good. I'm good. Oh my God, Joven. What a stupid thing to say. What a stupid thing to say, Joven. Thanks for doing this to keep the community together, Josh. This shit is fun daily. Thank you, man. I know I know I am a particular flavor and maybe not everybody's cup of tea, right? But this is my art. You know, this is my art. And I think we paint well over here, you know. Sasha Tree, I can't pronounce your name, but appreciate you, brother, says, what I love about the Den is we can talk shit, have different views, debate, etc., but it's all love. Real comic book shop talk. Yeah, no, for real. And like people get, like I get people getting passionate about it. I understand it. I do understand it. Even like Cool Bear last night, like, dude, like Cool Bear was like so fired up about Star Wars, so positive and just trying to shit on my Warhammer takes like so hard. And like on the one hand, it's like, look, his fucking manic energy, it's a little weird, right? But also, I mean, he could be out there doing all sorts of other stuff, spending his energy in even worse ways. And it's not that deep. He likes Star Wars. You know what I mean? It's not that deep. He likes Star Wars. He doesn't like that I like Warhammer more than Star Wars, and he wants to let me know. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's honestly not that big of a deal. I think if we were to consider... So, like, look, I had this one professor in college one time, and he would let people sleep in his lectures. And it was kind of famous. In fact, he'd have some people sit in on his class just to catch some Z's. And I remember one time they asked him, they were like, dude, why do you put up with this? And his answer was really good. He said, you know, look, if they're in here sleeping, they're safe. You know, they're not sleeping in another class where they could get in trouble. They're not sleeping in a park bench where they could get their shit stolen. They're not sleeping out on the street where they could get into some real trouble. This isn't the best, but there's so many worse ways this could be going down. And I feel that way about like the community, the banter, the arguing. This is nerd shit, guys. You know, and even when I get a little, it's nerd shit. We're not talking about politics. We're not talking about real people's lives. We're not talking about shit that's really that deep. This is nerd shit. Keep that in mind. And fight on. Fight on. Get passionate about it. I would much rather you spending that energy on this and arguing about lightsabers versus chain swords than getting out there and arguing about something that could get you, you know, in some trouble and really upset people or just put some really ugly energy out into the world. Like, nah. This is a better way. So, appreciate you. Much love to you all. I'm going to get on out of here. It's been a crazy week, but you know what's coming? 3 of the craziest fucking weeks of this channel's existence. 3 of the craziest weeks for this community. Avengers Doomsday. 1, 2, 3 trailers dropping in the next 3 weeks. Holy shit. Buckle up. Straddle up for that shit. And I'm going to get on out of here. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.
The following program, though incredibly nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? What a wonderful stream. What a wonderful time of year. I am filled with holiday cheer, and soon I will be filled with holiday beer. I hope you're not filled with Star Wars fan tears. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here, putting up with my grumpy ass. And I'll be honest with you, I was grumpy today. I was almost going to cancel this fucking stream, but instead I came in and just got pissed off. So the content was probably incredible. You're fucking welcome. I'll see you soon. Go enjoy the rest of your day. In fact, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor. Actually make it 2. Open up your third eye and wash out that stinky butt. Ho! Slanesh will get it. If you don't watch it, just watch that shit.